I will teach you the right way to live. I will be your guide, and I will take care of you. Psalm 32 verse 8. Hello! Welcome to Live, Love, and Laugh with Toasting. Thank you so much for all your love and all your support on my last video. If you haven't watched that video, I will link it in the description box below. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. I film about all things living, loving, and laughing. Let me use this opportunity to wish every mother a happy Mother's Day. And by mother, I mean every woman who is nurturing something, single mothers, every father like a mother, just all the beautiful, beautiful, amazing women on this channel. Happy Mother's Day. Today, I will be sharing some of my motherhood lessons, with a bit encouraging you and then to just celebrating us. We need to celebrate us some more. Motherhood lessons can be brutal. Like, it is not for sissies, but after a while, when motherhood has kind of held your hand through all of the joys and the pains, you kind of become better and you appreciate all that you have learned, throughout the journey. And it's just continuous. It really, really never ends. And the first of those lessons will be how much the motherhood journey reveals so much of who you really are. Before I got married, I was so sure I knew myself. I was like, I know myself, I know my purpose. I know my weakness, I know my strengths. You just feel like you are so in control of your person. And then you get married and marriage reveals a whole lot more about your imperfections and weaknesses and strengths. But you become a mother and then it's like on a whole new level. So for me, motherhood has revealed how impotent I could be, but also on the positive side is revealed how resilient, how strong I can be. So I would say that motherhood does reveal so much more about who you are, because there's a temptation to want to be like someone else, to see another woman, it looks like they're just killing it, just so perfect. How are they balancing it, and all of that. You just feel like every other person is doing it better than you are. But I think that another thing that I've learned is that once I know who I am, and the kind of mother that I am, what works for me, I just try to be true to myself. I mean, you don't stop drawing inspiration from other people. They inspire you. You see how they take their children for art classes, paint with them, do all of those things. I mean, it's beautiful to watch. You're inspired by it, but you stay true to who you are. And it's important because your child can literally just see through, all of those trying to be like another person. And you just want to teach your child or your children to know who they are and be true to it. I think that the tough part of balancing is then trying to balance all that you know with not losing yourself because of the new role of being a mother. It's so easy to lose yourself. Like, I think it stems from a good place. It's like you're trying to be everything to that child. You want to show that child that you love that child. So you want to give up even things that shouldn't be given up. You want to give up your career, your dreams. And it's almost as though you are losing yourself. So I never really want motherhood to be the reason why I wouldn't live my life to the fullest. Honestly, motherhood will slow you down, and there could be trade-offs along the line. But as often as you can, you kind of just have to re-strategize, recalculate, and then just put yourself back on the path to your destiny and to your purpose, because you're not going to stand in front of God and say, God, I couldn't do any other thing, the child that you gave me, you know. You still want to be the best version of yourself. And let me just quickly say that I struggled with this lesson for the longest because I didn't want to fail my child. You know, I just feel like, you know, what if just my absence for one day ruins her life? You know, what if this, what if that? But I got my liberation just remembering that, of course, like I said, my life is more than being a mom, and my child will be proud of me when she hears the stories of my strength, of my resilience, and how I was able to just be all, you know, that I was called to be, regardless of the fact that I was a mom, because that's the kind of daughter I want to raise. I want her to know that she can be all that she wants to be. You know, another thing that motherhood has taught me is forgiveness. Like, as a mom, new moms on this channel will agree with me that we make a lot of mistakes as a mom, because there's like a lot of noise. Someone is saying, don't use glycerin, use rose water, use this one, use omimimo, you know, you just hear all of those things and you're just like, what should I use? You know, we make parenting mistakes, you know, that's a given. But learning from those mistakes and moving on is very crucial. Being a mother, you would find some of your flaws and some of your inadequacies, and it's so easy to just be stuck on them that you just can't move past it, especially in cases where it's cost you something, maybe because of your carelessness or something like that. Something negative happened to your child and you just look at that child and you just cannot forgive yourself. You know, it's so easy to hold on to those mistakes and then you just cannot forgive yourself. But I learned to forgive myself as a mom and, you know, realize that yes, it's a learning curve. Yes, I'm not perfect, you know, but immediately you make those mistakes, you don't beat yourself over it. You just keep going, because the truth is, every other decision that you make from a place of, you know, shame and anxiety and fear, you know, or feeling that you are incapable because you've made a mistake, are just likely to be wrong decisions, you know. And I think forgiveness, even like forgiving your child, if you cannot forgive, you can't really be a mom, you know, effectively, because like every day your child will do something silly and the next minute they will come back running to you. You will need to learn to forgive yourself, you will need to learn to forgive your child, and you just learn to teach your child how to move on from failures and then mistakes and then just flaws, because it's a life lesson that we all must learn, not even just as a mother. The next lesson that I've learned is that the concept of balance and then just perfection, in a sense, you know, as a mother, is just like a miss. It's like a mirage. You just keep chasing it and you just never really, you know, achieve it. But I mean, it's a good mindset to always strive to see how you can achieve balance, you know, as much as possible, how you can juggle the balls, how you can juggle your career with your business, with being a mom, with being in ministry, with being, you know, whatever it is that your expressions are. To think that you would achieve it or to beat yourself up about dropping a ball would just be killing yourself, because the truth is, sometimes dropping one ball may just be all that you need to save the other balls. Otherwise, all the balls, they're going to scatter together, you know. So the reality is that you just have to give up the quest for balance, because sometimes trying to achieve balance can make you a bit more miserable, because for every time you drop a ball, you just feel like, that's it, I've ruined it, I'm incapable, I'm insufficient, I'm not enough, you know. It can really make you feel like you're not doing an amazing job, and that's a lie, because you are doing an amazing job. So quit trying to balance everything perfectly, juggle it as best as you can, but be honest with your weaknesses and your strengths, and just celebrate every little time, you know, that you are able to balance it. And also don't beat yourself up when one of the balls drop, because they are gonna drop sometimes. Motherhood has also taught me to appreciate the little things, the small things, and just live in the moment and be very present. growing up and all my life, I looked forward to all the big events, you know, getting married, you know, getting awards, and just all of those big accomplishments that are in forms of events. But just being a mom has taught me to just celebrate the very little things, because you become part of a process, of molding another person, of seeing a life being fully formed, and then you just realize that some things are connecting. It's almost like God is weaving a tapestry, and with all of those small events, it's going to make sense. From you carrying a child in your womb and not knowing what's happening there, because I've never seen my womb before, to giving birth to life, to seeing the child go from crawling to walking, and just the very small, seemingly small milestones, but eventually is what will lead you or lead the child to the big milestones. So I've learned to be very present and just be very grateful for all of the small joys. Motherhood has also taught me patience. I don't even know if anyone can survive being a mom without being patient. You kind of just have to just calm down. Like, you need to calm down, and sometimes you don't even know the kinds of children that the Lord will give to you. Some children will just test your patience and then drive you up the wall. My daughter is not even 3 yet, and she drives me up the wall. So I don't even know how my parents survived me, So for that same reason, I just kind of just stop sometimes and just try to understand her and just understand my child and just see how I can make better decisions. And because it's very easy to just be angry and because sometimes we are going through life and stuff ourselves, and someone asking us to be patient at that time is not what we want to do. Like, you just want to react, you just want to respond anyway. But I've learned to actually be patient, because it's either you're patient or you're patient. Another thing that I'm learning, and I continue to learn with being a mother, is that it doesn't get easier safe. You know how when they tell you that pregnancy is the, once you just have the child, everything, they just be growing. They just be spending money, they just be growing, just be buying diaper, they just be growing. They will not give you all of the details of what the growing up means. And even you as a mother, sometimes, I remember that I would say things like, if my child can just start crawling, at least I will not be carrying a child. Let her just start crawling. And then she starts crawling. I'm like, hey, don't crawl inside the fire. Don't crawl to the electricity. You're like, okay, maybe if my child can just start walking. And the child is like, don't walk away, car is coming. And you're like, when would I ever just like chill over this child? I'm in my husband's house and my mother is not done with me. If I have anything today, that I need, I will still call her, mommy, bring me catfish. Mommy, I need turkey. I still send her on errands. She's still, responsible for me in a way. So like, motherhood is like a lifelong journey. It never really ends, and it never really gets easier. Another thing that motherhood has taught me is that I really can't be in control of everything. It's so easy to want to control everything. You want to know the outcome. You want to know how 2 + 2 would give you 4. But with motherhood, sometimes you don't really have control. And I think that this is where your faith comes in. For me, I just like decided to chill and just ask God to help me, because if I couldn't control what was happening in my womb when I was carrying this child, and I was able to birth this child, and bring this child to life, and I just like have to just surrender and just allow God. So like, I don't even just rely on my instinct, even though my instinct as a mother is important. I just kind of just rely on God to just help me, because I just realized that parenting is hard. I don't even know how our mother's parent said, is that parented 5, 7, 10 children. How did they do it? Like, how could they? How should they? I don't know how they do it. So I'm just like, God, just help me. I have no power of my... Okay, I'm getting dramatic. But yeah, you can't always be in control. Motherhood has also taught me to be responsible. Like, when you just look at yourself and you're like, oh, I'm someone's mother. I can't just get to the bus stop and start to throw a punch, you know, and just start displaying the way I would like to. But you just want to be a good representation for your child. As simple sometimes as just looking good for your child. You just want your child to say, that's my mama, you know, that's my mommy. You just want to be responsible. You just want to model what is right to them, especially because children are watching. Like, my daughter can say everything that I can say. I think the one that gets me now is that I didn't realize that I used to eat until my 3-year-old said, telling me, Mommy, don't eat, because I said she should not eat. And then she's like, Mommy, don't eat. I'm like, did I used to eat? I did not know that I used to eat, you know. I realized that I eat, you know, when I'm upset, when she's driving me up the wall, climbing things, and I'm like, calm down. You know, I didn't realize that I used to eat until she told me at 3, you know. Sometimes we just don't see ourselves. We can't really mirror ourselves rightly until we see that our child has mirrored us and they're describing exactly what we do, you know, how we talk and all of that. So for me, motherhood has taught me to be responsible because my child is watching. My final lesson would have to be strength and, you know, resilience. Motherhood is such a whirlwind and it requires you to be strong like now, like you don't have time. You have to be strong about whatever decision it is that you're making. You have to be strong for your child. You have to be strong for yourself, you know, and you really don't get a manual to say this is how to do A, B, C. You get a bit of a manual, but you really don't get a bit of a manual, if you get what I mean. And I think that it's important to also say that sometimes the strength doesn't have to come from you alone. It can just come from having the right support system to just hold your hand, you know, through that journey. Motherhood will test your endurance, you know, for some things as little as just carrying your child from point A to point B. We make a lot of sacrifices. You have to like endure a lot of things, you know, as a mother. It tests your emotional strength. You know, for some mothers, you would have a bad boss, you would have a deadline, but you would have a sick child. And you just kind of have to combine everything together. You would have just given birth maybe via CS and you are in pain, but you need to breastfeed. You know, it's just like a whole range, you know, but that strength and that resilience is the reason why we celebrate mothers. Even for me, I never realized just how strong I could be. And I started thinking that I should be able to put motherhood, you know, on my CV as one of the skills, or being a mom, you know, as one of the skills that I have. Because the truth is, if you can nurture a life, you know, you can really nurture anything. And this is me celebrating even women that are full-time moms. That is something like, you know, I celebrate you. Some of the selfless sacrifices we really, really do not see. You are strong, you're powerful, you're beautiful. Just keep going and don't stop. So happy Mother's Day again. And I hope that this video has encouraged you and that you feel like you're doing amazing, because you really are. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, to leave a comment down below and let me know what are some of your motherhood lessons. What is motherhood teaching you? And just share with me. I want to read from you. Also, if you would like us to talk about anything on this channel, this is the perfect time to drop it in the comment section. Until I come your way again, don't forget to live, to love, and to laugh. Bye for now. If you don't presentation, Biko, Madam, kí ló ṣe? Live, love, and laugh. Go, but to my love, go laugh, go boss, be confused.